Mm. Bon. Okay, so someone's there, so hello. If you could just leave a message in the chat, so I want to make sure it works, because I don't see any messages appearing, so just leave something in the chat. It'll show me it works. Thanks. So am I gonna do some green today? Yep. That's what I'm gonna do. But I have to stick this out better. Okay. Je suis pas sûr que le portable soit la meilleure stratégie pour avoir des messages dans le chat. Je sais pas si le chat s'active en fait. Bizarre. J'ai pas choisi de mon truc. Je me demande si le chat marche en fait. Ok. Alors. On va s'occuper de qui? On va s'occuper de lui. Ouais, on va s'occuper de lui. Okay. Shit. Wet palette. So no, that's pretty good. So hello, whoever is on the live stream. I'm doing just a little painting right now, and haven't been crafting any terrain lately. But I've been painting. I've done a bunch of miniatures. They're not finished, but I've painted when I had a little time. So I thought I might as well make a little live stream, since I couldn't upload any tutorial this week. So I'm going to paint a little bit. So feel free to hang out. Try to leave a message into the chat. I don't see anything written. I'm actually recording with my smartphone. So I don't even know if the chat can appear on my screen, because I see the display but I don't see any chat messages, even though I've enabled the option. So if you haven't, well, definitely consider leaving a small message, so I could make sure I could see your questions or anything you say. Thanks. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna paint some miniatures. I'm focusing on the greens. As you can see, I've already made some base coats of main tones, and what I'm gonna do basically is do the shades and the highlights like I did on this one last time. As you can see, I'm really no expert at all concerning painting. I'm really happy with the result, though. I'm really happy with how it turned out. But you gotta know that I haven't been painting miniatures for over 15 years. So yeah, I'm happy with the result. But the last minutes, except on these three miniatures that I painted about a few months ago, the last one I painted, I was like 15 years old, and they were really rubbish. It was a dwarf army for Warhammer, but I was really bad at it and didn't have any good technique or good tools, brush or painting. So I'm starting to paint again. I've done a lot of role playing and RPG, but more. Without visual support, or without miniatures at least. But now lately I've been buying a lot of miniatures, and so obviously I have to paint them. So I started doing it. It's not bad. I'm not very good at it, but I've been seeing some videos, some tutorials to achieve a nice look with the lights, because obviously when you're doing miniatures, the idea is to enhance the lights and the contrasts, to give the impression the miniature, the character is actually really there in human scale, because when the miniature is smaller, it can't get the light as well as a human being, and obviously a miniature isn't as detailed as some real person with some real clothes. So the idea is to use really the highlights and the shades to enhance the contrast, to make them stand out on the table. But I'm sure all of you know that if you're on the stream. Anyway, so I've got the base coats, and what I'm going to do is use several tones of light colors, and then dark for the recesses. Maybe a wash. Really depends on the miniature I'm working on. Obviously, the most fun miniatures are these ones. I had a lot of fun doing this because of the cape, the cloak. It was really cool too, really long actually. I think I took about an hour, maybe a bit less, probably a bit less, because I made several of them. I started with the blue colors, as you can see, these ones, and then I made the green ones. So I'm really happy with some results. I'm really not experienced at all with painting miniatures, so I thought I really nailed it. I've got experience with doing, art, some kind of small experience with painting, but really miniatures, I'm not that used to it, so I'm really happy with how it turned out. The idea is mainly to put some highlights on top of the miniature, as if light mostly comes from the top. where when you're on exterior, and it really enhances the volumes. So I'm gonna try to do some green. As you can see, I'm working on a small anvil. It's a very small anvil my father gave me, and I find it very useful because I can put some magnets on it this way, small magnets, and I've got some washers on the well, under my miniatures, so I can put them on there, you know, sticking a little bit out, and I can even put them, you know, from the on the sides. I can do whatever I want with it, and it's useful to get in very small recesses. But most of you don't have this. You can also use these kind of stuff, the cork from wine. Most people use these, or you know, bottles, small bottles, or you know, bottle caps. But this is pretty good. Also, it's kind of heavy, so I don't, you know, shake too much with it. And obviously, I'm also using this, though I'm not sure I'm gonna be using this if there's a chat. I'm using this, usually very useful to get into small details. But I still can't see anything told, so that sucks. Because if you say something, I can't see anything, so I'm not gonna be able to respond. Charlotte, tu crois que tu peux essayer un truc, s'il te plaît? Tu pars dans combien de temps là? Tu peux juste vite fait essayer de te connecter à ma chaîne et genre sur mon live et laisser un message, voir si ça marche. Je pense pas, hein, mais.
Ah, ton ordi est pas allumé?
Ah bah non. Non, mais sinon, tant pis, laisse tomber.
Je vais tester à côté.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm glue stick and some blue text for sign too. Great. Okay, so I can see that. I can definitely see your messages. No glue stick. Yeah, why? An old glue stick? Yeah, why not? Why not? Isn't it a bit small though? I can't imagine an old glue stick. Yeah, I guess. It's a bit thin though. It's a bit thin. But, you know, why not? Ouais, mais ça marche, hein, Charlotte.
Ah oui, t'as gagné, t'as mis un message.
Ouais, j'ai vu, ouais. Okay. So I'm gonna start painting. I don't think this will be fascinating, so you'll probably want to, you know, do something else after a while. But if you got a few questions or just want to see me paint for a while, you can stay. It'll be a pleasure to answer your questions. But I'm really mostly going to paint because I want to, and I've got a little spare time to do it.
La qualité d'image est super pourrie.
Ah ouais? So I hope the quality of the video is good, because apparently it sucks, and this is pretty bad if you're doing painting miniatures, obviously. So kind of paper glue. Oh yes. Okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah, these work fine, I guess. They're bigger. You can also use these type of stuff. You know, pills. I've used them to do some columns in one of the latest vids. They're really useful to do some columns, you know, with sand underneath. Tell me if the quality of the live is okay, because my girlfriend here tells me the live is shitty looking. So tell me if the quality is alright, because it's obviously pretty important if you're doing a display of painting miniatures. So tell me if it's alright on your screen.
Moi, je vois des gros pixels dès qu'il y a un mouvement en fait. Ça framerate dès qu'il y a des mouvements.
C'est peut-être parce qu'on est sur la même connexion aussi.
C'est un peu dur.
So what colors am I gonna use for this one? So this green on this character is a little deeper than the other ones. It's not exactly the same green. I tried to, you know, to make some variations. So I'm not gonna use the same color scheme I used lately. As you can see here, I've got a wet palette. I've made it after the Jeremy from Blackmagic Craft video, and it's really useful. So I've been using this, and I think I'm gonna be using I'm gonna use some lighter green, but not that light. I think these two are gonna be good, and I need a very light one as well. I think this one, maybe this is gonna be, this is better, I think. Okay, I'm gonna be using this. I'm gonna see. Yeah, okay, on a smaller phone it's okay. Good. But okay. In any case, happy someone hanged out, and so gonna do my painting. It's not really I don't have any camera assets on the other way. It's just, I'm just testing live streams. It's the first time I do it, so obviously it's gonna be a bit, nothing's prepared. I just thought I might as well do a little painting, and I could as well live stream it. The set isn't very convenient or optimized either, but not sure I'm using exactly the right color for this, but hey, I'm probably gonna do a mix. Yeah, I'm gonna do a mix. Shit, fuck. Let's see. I want to find the right color. Problem is, if I do mixes, I'm gonna have to start doing mixes all the way long. Shit. I'm not precise at all with the phone in the way. I definitely have to come up with a better setup. But hey, it's just for a try. If it's really bad, I'll cut the stream and make a better setting next time. Thanks. That's cool, mate. Yeah, well, you're probably, what's your name? Are you from the Netherlands? Or maybe South Africa? Because you look like you have a Dutch name. Because I'm living in Europe, so probably in the States it's pretty late. We're actually the morning here in Europe, so that's probably why there's no one. Also, it's the first time I live stream, so I haven't made any sort of not campaign, but I haven't told anybody I was going to live stream. It's just on Sweden. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Jimmy. Davon. Okay. Sweden. Well, I'm French. I live in France. I don't know if you're one of my regular subs or just passing by. But anyway, welcome to the live stream. Maybe I'll do other ones. I don't know. I'm just experimenting, just trying. But I definitely have to come up with a better setting, because apparently it's hard getting the focus on the miniature. So what I'm doing here, I don't know if you're very experimented in painting miniatures. I'm definitely not. But as I said, the most important for me for a miniature to really stand on the tabletop is to paint highlights on mainly on top of the character, for it to stand out really well. Except, of course, if you got a character who's got some magical item or lantern or something like this, then obviously you're gonna paint very hard light and highlights from where the light comes. But mostly for most miniatures, I try to put some highlights on the top, so top of the. Oh, thanks, Mark. If you're talking about my terrain, thanks. If you're talking about my miniatures, thanks, and you're really nice, because they're good, but I'm not very experienced, and I don't even know if you see much on screen. Anyway, it's I've done this pretty. It's on the spot live stream. Nothing's prepared. Also, I'm sorry if I'm at a loss for words sometimes, because I'm not completely fluent, so sometimes I'm at a loss for words in English. I'm French, so hey, if I can't find any words, you'll sometimes have to wait a few seconds for me to find what I want to tell you. So yeah, what I'm starting to do is to make the highlights on top of either the shoulders and also the hips. Mostly the hips at the back, by the way, because there's a real budge there, so it's going to catch the light, obviously. I get lost and I'm English, so all good. Okay. Well, it's definitely good, since I haven't spoken that much English since a long time ago. I used to have many English-speaking friends when I was in high school, middle school, and high school, because I was in a European school, so I had many English speaking friends, but living in France, I don't really have the opportunity to speak English very often. And since I started the channel, I've actually regained a lot of ease and vocabulary speaking English, but it's not perfect either. I'm having a hard time concentrating on the miniature while speaking. So the idea is to start with a slightly lighter color, and then going lighter and lighter. Then I'm probably gonna do a slight wash just to make everything blend in a little better. But it's gonna take a long time. I'm not sure the setup is pretty accurate. I would be a lot faster and a lot more precise if I didn't have the phone on in the way. But it's alright. It's alright. I can show you the other ones I've done if you want, because they're way better. So if you saw it, I'm gonna show you anyway. I think these highlights are pretty spot on. So that's what I managed to achieve. Obviously, the highlights and the shadows on the face aren't done. The head isn't done, but most of the dress is done, and I'm pretty happy with it. Pretty good. As I said, I'm really not experienced with painting miniatures. Last time I painted miniatures, I was 15 years old, and they were really crap. So I'm really proud of the results. It's not pro, but it's tabletop ready, and it's tabletop ready, and I'm really happy with it. So it's pretty okay, even if it's not done. So I've done mostly the blues for now. This one was done really fast, but it was very easy to do for the blue. It works. And I've started doing the greens also. Oh, this one's nice too. What do I use for washes? Well, I've bought Normie paints, a big ass. Well, let me show you. a big ass set of you know, paints. It's the 50 paints. And I'm using mostly, well, they've got washes, but mostly what I do is mix regular paints with water. It works. I know you can do amazing washes if you buy you know, some oil paints. It's pretty neat, but I don't have any at the moment, and these work great. But I didn't do a lot of washes for these actually. I did a base coat, and I was very stupid because I wasn't experienced. So for many of these, I did a black base coat, which is a big fucking mistake. But because you definitely don't want to do a black base coat unless if you want to do some kind of, you know, mecha or a very dark miniature. But some of these were very light, and I did a dark, pretty nearly black base coat, and it was really stupid of me. So I had a hard time for the very light ones to actually get good highlights. But thanks if you find them good. I've done this one as well. The cape is pretty good. It's not finished 100%, but the cape is mostly done. I'm gonna try to add some lights. I'm sure you're gonna see it better. That's a little better. There you go. It's not perfect. I'm not even painting with a very precise brush actually. But this one's really nice. It was really fun to paint. That was really fun to paint. Really, really fun. I like this miniature also. It's not finished obviously, but you know, some assassin with a crossbow. This one is pretty nice. Fat rich guy. So I just did the blue parts to get the volume right on the belly. All the rest has to be done yet. The other ones aren't that interesting. I tried something with this one. I'm not 100% happy. The scarf, I wanted to give a kind of shiny look, you know, like it was silk, I guess. So the idea when you're drawing, because I'm not very experienced for miniature painting, but I know how to draw, is so to give this kind of shiny effect is to give some very big highlights that are just approach from very dark zones. So the highlights aren't gonna be well, they're not gonna be smooth. They're gonna be very contrasted with very hard shadow next to it. Normally with this effect you get a very shiny look as if it was silk or even a very polished metal. Works like that. But I'm not 100% happy with the results. I'll see what I can do later with this one. So I've done a few of them. I'm not gonna show all of them. I've done this one also. That's pretty good too. And of course the old ones I did. You probably saw them in some pictures because I made them for my players for a campaign we're running. So there are a few of them like this. There's also the monk somewhere, I don't know where. Here's you've got the archer. So that's another of my friends' character. I'm running a very low RPG campaign. And oh yeah, you've got this one that's pretty cool too, that I've painted. It's not finished of course, but the blue is done. Also a very silky looking top. And I'm really happy with the silk looking, you know, a bit shiny looking vest. It looks like not silk, but how do you call that? Velvet, I guess. You know, very rich material. This guy is obviously a rich merchant or a nobleman, and yeah. So let's get back to the painting. I didn't choose the right color, but it should do. In any case, this one won't be as good as the other one, but it's not finished. And what you can do also is look. Now, if you can see, so you put the highlights on top of the when the light catches like the shoulders, but also yeah, you see if you've got a knee that's bent and that is forward, then you're gonna have some light catching on top of the knee there. So this will really give volume, and the lower it gets, the more hidden the gambizon from the this cloth. I don't know how you call this in English. In French, it's gambizon. Yeah, I think it's gambizon. It's this kind of padded armor used to to reduce hits. Very useful. If you don't have one under your armor is basically useless. So you definitely want a gambizon, a good one, not too thick. Otherwise you're gonna just die of heat under there. But definitely thick enough to protect you from the hits. Yeah, definitely you want to do that. Well, at least that's what I do, because you put on some shades, so you do some washes, you put on some shades in the recesses, and that's definitely to highlight. So to get a good silk use, some gloss varnish on that part and mud varnish for the rest. Yeah, definitely. That's definitely what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use if I want to silk effects. Yeah, I'm not gonna do this for the how do you call this? It's in French. It's a crieur public. Well, the dude that yells some news in the streets or at a feast, herald or something like that. I'm definitely gonna use some gloss varnish. I also have to buy some matte varnish for the miniatures, because I don't have any good, very fine varnish, and I don't want these to get damaged, because I'm obviously spending some time painting them, so I have to protect them. In any case, what was I saying? Yeah, you put some shadows, for more contrast when you're doing some washes on the recess. So you definitely want to put some highlights, and if you put some highlights, might as well put them where they seem logical. And most of the time the lights come from up, and it can give you a default light source for your miniatures. Bisous. Because of course, if you got some characters, some miniatures, as I told you, having some torches or some magical items glowing, obviously you can put some lights on them, with this light source. But if you take most other miniatures, might as well choose. I choose from the top. You could choose from the side, but it's gonna work better if all the miniatures have the same light implementation. So I chose coming from the top. It'll work better on the tabletop. And remember, mostly that you're gonna look the miniatures from the top, from a top view. So could be interesting to put some highlights where the light obviously hits really the body. It will enhance the details, like any highlight put on a miniature, but also it will seem logical from where it stands. At least for me, it does. But bear in mind, I'm giving you some advices, but you're probably way more, way better painters than me. Because just remember, last time I painted, I was 15 years old. And it was really rubbish. I mean, these dwarves were really rubbish. There was a dark base coat, black, and I used some metal painting and a few, colors for the beards and stuff. But maybe there was a wash, but there was no highlights in any kind. There was definitely not wet blending. That's what I'm doing mostly. I think that's how you call it. And that's what's giving you the very nice highlight effect you saw on the cloaks. I'm sorry, I'm really always out of focus, but the display I made here is really, I did it very fast, so I'm really sorry if you don't have a good image. But I guess at least you can hear me. In any case, I haven't put out any tutorial lately because I didn't have time because of my job. It was really a pain in the ass lately, very time consuming, and also, well, the few free time I had, I used them painting these miniatures, trying to paint them good. So obviously I didn't have time to both craft something, film it, do the edition and everything else. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. I don't really have a Facebook page. I should create it. I have a personal. I'm actually posting on a tabletop crafting guild with my own personal account, but I should really create a page. You're right. I should. You're not the first one telling me this. I should. But yeah, I'll definitely put on some pictures, either on my Facebook page or on the tabletop crafting page. But I should do a page and share the content. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I know. Most of my subs come from the crafting tabletop crafting guild. It's an awesome group. I mean, so many cool stuff. Every day I watch it. It's amazing. So inspirational, And yeah, I don't think I'd have any subscribers, or I'd have very few subscribers if it weren't for the tabletop crafting guild, because most of you guys come from there. I mean, how many are we now? Or like over 20,000 or something, 30,000. It's huge. Yeah, try the vines. They're cool. They're really cool. Just remember really to seal them, especially if you want to try using the parsley. Yeah, wait a second. I'm gonna watch the parsley because I haven't watched it for a long time. Either used it. I'm gonna see if the colors are still on, or if it's very or if the colors are faded. Yeah. Yeah, the colors are faded. It still looks pretty amazing, but the colors are definitely faded. It looks like very old vines. So the technique is good, but if you want it to remain the leaves to remain very green, you should definitely consider using something else than parsley. I tried, it was an experiment. Most of the vids I did from my tutorials were experiments. I didn't do them on the spots. I mostly did other pieces before, but I was experimenting maybe a week ago before doing the tutorial, and the thing went very well, so I made a tutorial. But I haven't been doing terrain for a very long time. As I told you before, I was mostly focusing on roleplay for RPG, or Roll20, stuff like that, but not actual terrain in miniatures. So it's I'm very new to the crafting world. I've just crafted a lot of things in a very little time because I'm a passionate guy. But okay, I think I might overdo it. I'm gonna stop with this color. I'm gonna put a lighter one because I'm definitely overdoing it. It's not very pretty. I didn't do a very beautiful job. I have a hard time seeing the miniature properly with the phone, which is stupid because I'm not sure you see anything with the out focus. I could have put the camera on my own head, but this is miniature painting. If you don't see the miniature, it's not interesting. In any case, if you've got any questions or anything, don't hesitate to ask. And I'm just glad there's someone I can talk to. Pretty neat to have some feedback on the videos I do, because these really take time to do. if you're not familiar with video editing, you can't really relate. But you know, uploading content that is edited on YouTube is pretty time consuming. It takes most of my free time usually. So I'm really happy mostly if when I have feedback and when you guys do some stuff, because I got many crafters that were inspired by the tutorials and made stuff that was sometimes way beyond what I did and a lot better. And when I see this, it's just, you know, it's amazing, because everything I learned in a very, very small time, in maybe a year or so. I mean, I started crafting, I think the first pieces I made were a year ago. Okay, that's very little time. And I learned from mainly from, you know, Scotty, Jeremy from Black Magic Craft. I learned a lot, a little bit crafting, but mostly from methodology for the game from you know, Drunken and Dragons. Well, former Drunken and Dragons, now it's Runehammer. So Hanker Infernia. This dude is awesome. And you know, many online crafters, and basically tutorials taught me everything. I was already pretty good with, you know, art stuff and building stuff, because I have an artistic background and I've always liked to craft things, you know. I'm also an art teacher, so, you know, I've got some skills. I know how to use some tools and stuff. And I know how to draw and how to paint a little bit. I'm not very good at painting, actually. I'm way better at drawing. But I learned mostly by watching vids, you know, tutorials. And these were so good that I ended up, you know, thinking, yeah, okay. I started building some stuff and I was like, okay, let's, you know, just let's try to do some tutorials, see how it goes. And if I'd find if it's helpful, if, you know, people appreciate it and use them, and maybe it's, I don't know, it's gonna be cool, you know. But lately I've really tried to do one tutorial per week. But post my art up. Actually, if you're interested, there's a blog I have that hasn't been updated for maybe a year about the time I started crafting. But there's actually a blog that's in French, but there are some English translations some places. There's a comic I started that isn't finished. I want to finish it, that is translated. It's called L'Antre du Landvaettr. There's probably a link to this blog in the description of the channel if you want to have a look. And about my game, it's low fantasy based, so it's my world but based on the 13th century Albigensian crusade in south of France. So it's based on historical events and a historical place based in south of France. But the characters here invented are fictional. It's an investigation themed RPG. Very crude, very realistic. When I say low fantasy, it's the first campaign we're doing is really low fantasy, in the sense there's no magic pretty at all. There's a sense of magic, there's a sense of dread. You can see some evil and fantastic things that shouldn't be real, but are they real? Are they not? You have to discover it. That is the first campaign. Oh yeah, I've watched a few chats. Yeah, I've watched a few. I've learned a lot also from the terrain tutor, mainly for, yeah, you know, big terrain. For example, I thought of this afterwards, but for the hills, I did a little tutorial for the battle mats, you know, made out of t-shirts, and also some hills. I remember afterwards I saw long ago a video how to make hills, and I think it was from the terrain tutor, but I think he used cork to do it, if I remember correctly. But yeah, he's done amazing things. I've watched a lot of his videos. I like to watch some live streams, but most of the times I really don't get the time. So sometimes when Hankering does live, I pop in and I say hello, and I stay for maybe an hour if I can while working on my stuff. Doing some grading some work, or preparing some lessons, or I don't know what. But I try to stay a little bit, but I can't manage to stay for very long on live streams. Besides, we're also living in Europe. Most of these guys are living in the States, so we really don't have the same kind of schedule and time. Time, I don't know what. I can't manage to find the word, but I'm sure you understand what I mean. This can be pretty annoying. For example, I usually go to sleep pretty late, but it's nice having a live stream at a sensible hour. Yeah. What do you mean by sensible? It's like nice hour, or because for me it's actually in the morning in France, or about it's about 10, half past 10 or something like that. I don't know. So if you're living in the States, should be around 1 o'clock, or even more, 2 or 3 o'clock. So when I know I've been watching some same time for me. Oh yeah, obviously if you're in the UK, it's all right. Well, that's cool, mate. Mel is in England. Yeah, he does a live stream on Tuesday. Yeah, Mel is in England, definitely. But most live stream I follow are Americans, so it's harder. It's Oh shit! I didn't see the end of your comment, Tabletop Factory. Anyway, thanks. And if you asked something at the end of the comments, I didn't have time to read it, so just post it again. I don't think anyone would care in the chat, and I'll be able to see what you said. Nice seeing you. You're one of the first following the channel. So I'm totally overdoing this this green right there. So I'm gonna change green because I'm speaking with you guys. So I really don't. I'm doing way too much of this green, and I'm gonna start using a lighter one because I want to really build up. Because you see, it's not really pretty. I'll have to do the shadows a little better. I'm doing a very sloppy job, but I don't know how your game works. I mean, make a video with your friends playing, getting grades from Japan. You're coming from Japan. Cool. Yeah, I could, but dude, they're French. I'm actually running the game in French, so yeah, I'm not sure you guys would really appreciate. And we're definitely not going to play in English because they don't know how to speak English for shit. They're really French guys. So I thought about it first. I think what I'll do is do some recaps. Lately I had a lot of work, so we haven't played the campaign for over 3 weeks. It's a lot. There was a big hiatus, but next time I'm playing by chapters. So next time a chapter is done, because I don't want to spoil anything, because some of them actually follow the channel. Next time I end a chapter, I think I'll talk about, I'll maybe show some pictures of the battle boards, some pictures of us, if you guys would like to see them. I'm not sure it will be very interesting, but I could put this up, ask them. I don't think they would mind. But I thought about recording. I've already done this past years, some recording, but mostly for us, for remembrance, because we've done other games on Roll20. And it was pretty fun, pretty amazing. So we did some recording of this, but it's in French, guys. So unless you really speak French pretty fluently, because we're French, and also most of us are from Paris, so we have a way of speaking that's maybe is very fast for most non-natives. I'm not sure it would be interesting, but I'll definitely consider putting up some pictures and a few words on my stories, how I develop them, because I love inventing stories and creating worlds and situations and giving a sense of dread and mystery. Most of my games are very oriented mystery solving, like une enquête. How do you say that? A case or of some kind with adventuring, but with a sense of dread. Usually in low fantasy worlds. Dangerous, really realistic looking worlds. The last one we did before we're obviously running a medieval theme game. The previous one, well, we did a Cthulhu game. See if you get some help with subtitles. Yeah, I could subtitle it, but it's gonna take a lot of time. Do I really want to do this? I mean, the games are, they're 4 hours long, and I guess I could. I'll see, I'll see. I'll see if I do it. I can't promise anything, but maybe I will, At least I'll make a heads up, because it's true that if you play a lot, I'll obviously don't have time to do some tutorials as well with work and all. But I'll soon be in vacations and holidays, so I'll be able to play a lot more and to craft as well. But okay, I'm gonna stop with this green because I'm really doing shit. I have to stop again. But I'm talking to you guys and it doesn't look like it, but I have to concentrate on what I'm saying to find the proper words. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but it's alright. I mean, if I do more often, some live streams a little more often, I'll be a lot more fluent. It's a lot easier now than it was 15 minutes ago. Okay, so I'm gonna take some lighter green to enhance the highlights. So the upper we're gonna get on the shoulders, and the down on the near to the knee, we're gonna add some more highlights, and this will really make the character pop out. And I'm also going to drink some tea, because the tea must be very strong by now. Anyway, I want to tell you guys, as you guys are subscribers, and it's the first time I actually get time to speak in real time with you guys. Even if I try to answer the messages on the videos pretty fast, it's the first time I actually have you guys on live, that I can speak to you. I want to tell you it's been a real pleasure making those tutorials for you guys and seeing the response you gave, and it's really cool. It's a lot of work, but it's definitely rewarding for me. Mostly if you do some stuff that my tutorial helped create or gave ideas, and I see pictures and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I think that's my art teacher side, to see some cool stuff that's been produced. Or the Canadian. Oh, thanks, man. And Jimmy, yeah, definitely Canadians would like it, obviously. But yeah, I guess I have some Canadians. I know I have at least a few of them that I know on the shit in the comments that were Canadians. But yeah, obviously there's gonna be a few of them from Canada. Okay, so what color am I gonna use? I'm gonna use this shit. This should be good. This is a bit too. Okay, I'm gonna go with pretty like one. Gotta use this. These paintings are really good, huh? Army paint. So as I showed, I bought a bunch of these, as you can see, and like the 50 pack, and it's kind of expensive, so I wanted to choose the right brand, not too expensive, but good stuff. And so I chose the Army paint, and they're really nice to work with. They weren't the most expensive, and they're really good. But I'm no expert, so I think they were really neat. I'm not very experienced, but I was able to do these kind of shades. So come on, these are good. and these seem to handle. They seem to handle, but I definitely have to varnish the stuff, because you know, my friends aren't coming from the RPG world. So oh wait, one can be challenged on the tree making community is to make a good weeping willow tree. Weeping willow tree. Oh yeah, so weeping willow tree is like the trees that are staying beside the rivers, and you know. Okay, I see. Saule pleureur. Yeah, why not? I definitely try to. I definitely want to do some trees. Uh, I mean, some trees. I've got a lot. I've already got a lot of trees, but I definitely want to do a big tree that is kind of modular. I love modular stuff, so I want to make some kind of tree that could be used in several ways, with like, you know, add-ons, things you can add on the tree to make it. I don't know, a hangman tree, a tree meant for you know, public speeches, a tree made for, you know, you can put a small camp next to it. I want to make a tree that could be used with items, with options, that could be modular and used to do many things. But I don't think it would be a weeping tree. I could do one. It could be challenging, could be interesting. Why not? I didn't even know it was a very known challenge. I think I've saw a few vids of these kind of shit. I'm going way too light on the color. This is way too shiny. Okay, I'll find a way. I think I'll ease down the contrast afterwards with a wash. Anyway, I'm spending a lot of time on a miniature that isn't going to be very good looking, because I'm not doing it in the perfect conditions. But in any case, I don't really give a shit, because this miniature will be good for tabletop. It'll mainly be used for just you know, standard men-at-arms number 3. And it gives me, you know, and I can, you know, speak with you guys and see how the live works. So I don't really care if it's not perfect, even if I take time doing it. I've got time. I'm lucky I don't work today, so just chilling, you know, painting a little bit, talking to you guys. So you know, the tree. Yeah, I'm definitely. I definitely want to do a big tree, but and very useful. That could be used for many things. You know, with a little platform, but that looks actually natural. But you could use, you know, to hang characters, to you know, to climb, obviously, like the vines, and you could you know, have it, yeah, hollow, or you know, put something, an option that could fill it in. You know, many stuff. But I'm not sure it would be a weeping tree. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. For now, the reason I didn't do any tutorial these weeks was first that I had a lot of work, and also I didn't really feel like it. I didn't really want to build anything this week, but this past 2 weeks, and it was so I thought, why bother? I'm not gonna. I mean, this channel is mostly about pleasure, you know. What's happening here? Oh, hey mate. Not much. I'm just painting shit, and we're talking. I'm just trying the live streams for this first time, and I'm painting and talking with a few of my subscribers that are living in Europe mostly, but also in Japan apparently. So I don't know, what time is it in Japan? Yeah, thanks. Also challenge to get the leaves look like. Yeah, the leaves definitely. That's why I tried to use some parsley to Austria. Yeah, you guys are far off. So okay, I thought it would be a lot later in Japan. 18h16. What the fuck? Okay. Okay. Okay, that's good. Australia and Japan. Oh, nice. Okay. We're actually the morning in France, and I'm very lucky I don't work on the Friday, so I thought I might as well make a little do a little painting and go live stream for the first time to see how it works. We're 8 hours from Spanish, but no. Oh, okay. Well, I won't be speaking Spanish, although I can speak a little Spanish. So, puedo probar a hablar un poco en español, pero hace años que no he hablado sin una palabra de español. So I'm basically gonna speak in English, if you don't mind, because I'm not even fluent in English. So yeah, I've learned some Spanish also, but it's such a long time ago. But it's a great. I had a lot of pleasure speaking Spanish with some friends, and going to Spain. So but hey, you lose everything. You know, if you don't practice, it goes away. It can come back if you go in the country for a little while. You get the vocabulary back and the ease of speaking back. But then most English speaking people, yeah, I don't know, maybe, I don't think so. But thanks anyway. I used to be a lot more fluent when I was younger because I had many English friends, but hey, you do what you can do. So this is pretty good, but I definitely have to do some kind of darker wash. Thanks, Paul. If I want to harmonize the colors, because I was speaking to you guys, so I didn't really pay attention. Actually, I was doing it, mechanically, but I put way too much highlights. But in any case, I'm gonna, ease these contrast with a little, not really a wash. I'm just gonna use some darker green, but pretty diluted, and pass on it to make a better blending. And in any case, the Gambazon can end up being a little more lighter color than I expected. It's alright. In any case, this I've been doing this for an hour now. The painting should be finished. It isn't because I'm speaking to you guys, but I don't really care. I'm just relaxing, not working, painting, and talking to you guys. So that's fine with me. Even if I'm not being very efficient, it's alright. I'll be more efficient another day. I don't think the live will end up. I'm not gonna spend hours and hours, doing this live because I have to do some other stuff. I've got work to do, even if I'm not at work currently. I get some, how do you call this? Some reports. We're at the end of the year. Yeah. See you, dude. See you later. And thanks for your work, by the way. It's amazing. See you later. In any case, as I said, I'm not sure I'm gonna do a live stream for very long. It's just wanted to paint. I'll probably keep on painting, a little more, but I'll put out the display because it's not very practical for me to paint like this. And besides, you don't see shit. I mean, I think the problem is that my hand is way too up. I should remove these. You're gonna tell me if it's better. I'm gonna remove some of these minutes, and I'm gonna work way more on the table, because I've put many minutes. Because what I do is I do them in chain. I'll do all the green cloaks and green. Oh shit! I've put some paint on my t-shirt. Okay, I do all the greens, all the blues together to do a faster work. But here I'm literally spending an hour and a half on one small Gambazon because I'm talking to you guys, so might as well, I don't know, do you see better now? Is it more focused, or? Yeah, it should, right? Because I'm actually having my hand standing on the crafting space now. So you see, I was a little too enthusiastic with the highlights. It's a bit too much. It was better before. Okay, no problem. I'm gonna stay with it because I see it completely. How do you call this? Shit. Blurry. Blurry. So, what am I gonna do? Am I going to... What am I gonna do? Yeah, I'm gonna add some... I'm going to definitely add some shadows here. Because I'm not 100% happy with it. It's not... I don't know. There's something off. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna do a wash. Small wash. So... Some of my paints aren't Army Painter. Because I obviously had some before. So this is Military Green from Model Core. From Vallejo. But these mix up really well. I think they're... I don't know. Is Army Painter really another brand? Because the packaging is exactly the same. So I don't know. So I'm gonna try to do something. Maybe it's a very bad idea, but I'm gonna try nonetheless. I'm gonna try to blend it. Okay, it's gonna be better. Because the highlights were a bit too strong. Compared to the green I used underneath. So the highlights were good, but it was a little too violent. Okay, well, yeah. Yeah, it should be another brand, but it's exactly the same exactly the same packaging. Oh no, it's not exactly the same, but really similar. But I don't know much about paints. I'm not. I done some research before buying the big 50 pack, but I'm not really experienced or anything. Okay, this is way better. I think you don't see much, but this is actually a way better alternative. I was in most cases when your highlights are too strong or aren't really matching with the rest of the base coats of the mid-tone. What you can do is you do a wash with a tone that is going to uniformize. I don't know if you can tell this in English, but give a more uniform tint to the whole. So the highlights are definitely going to be better suiting with the rest of the piece and the rest of the colors. And I'm still going afterwards to enhance between the little parts of the gambeson. I'm going to enhance the shadows. But I'm really surprised you guys see something, because for me it's really blurry on the... I don't see anything. If I put my hands like right there, it's okay, I guess. Yeah. Like here it's pretty good. But when I remove it, it's like completely blurry. So... tell me if you don't see shit. Tell me, because I have to find a way. Maybe not for today, but for next time I try to do a live stream. In any case, what are you guys doing? What are you doing right now? I don't know. What's your job? What's your current campaign? Running? Do you have a running group? Are you a player? Are you a DM? I know some of you guys actually craft, because I saw your crafts. But I don't know what are you right now on, if you're doing some crafts, working on my projects while listening to you. Okay, what are you doing right now? Oh yeah, okay. So this is really a more seems logic. Crafting. Of course, yeah. Yeah, but what are you crafting on? I mean, is it a special piece? What is it? Is it secret? Yeah, crafting is awesome. what I love about it is I'm not really experienced, so it's basically really experimenting when I try to do a new piece. So I'm like, shit, I'd like to do this. Let's try finger build. Oh, okay, yeah. So the next one is what is it? The next one, I know the last ones were the bottle caps. I nearly did it because bottle caps are really good, but do you remember real quick? So I was looking to see. Oh man, it's weird looking to. Oh shit, I didn't have time to read everything. Toilet paper. Oh yes. So I was looking up to see if I painted some 4K color with my son. Cool, cool, cool. And toilet roll paper. Yeah, toilet roll paper. That can be very useful too. What did I do in toilet paper roll? I followed an old tutorial of DM Scotty to make some trees with them. But don't say anyone. Okay, Stefan. Begging for minis today. Current craft project making. Shit, I don't see the. Well, I'll see a comment mark next time I have another comment, because they'll disappear pretty soon. Right, bricks and shop first. Oh, Mark, is it you who's posted the shop fronts on? I'm sorry, I don't remember. Is it you that posted them on the Crafting Guild, but some time ago? Because if it was you, these were really cool. And if it wasn't you, I'd like to see them if you didn't show them. Because I think I should. I think I'm gonna do. ¿Cómo estás? Hola, Juanma. ¿Qué tal? Os vamos a hablar en español si tenemos muchos españoles. Oh yeah, definitely, Mark. Do that. I really like to see them. Thanks, Stefan. Thanks. Okay. This miniature isn't gonna be as good looking as the others, but you know, that's alright. What I'm gonna do is add a little more highlights though, but very I'm nearly going to dry brush it on top of the. I'm not sure it's even necessary. Okay, I'm gonna do it. But yeah, Mark, when you end up finishing these shop fronts, I definitely want to see them. I think this was the most the tutorial that had the most success, the most views, likes, or you know whatnot. And these were good lookings. They're up there. They're just on top of me. And yeah, these are good. That's true. These are good. These are pretty neat. They had quite a lot of success. But what I regret, and that some crafters have done, is using a mesh to do the separations between the small rhombuses. Because I did it with just using a regular shit, you know, a pen. But really, you should use a mech, because for this one it was alright. For this one it was alright, but for the one I did for the tutorial, it was too small. I didn't have much space, so it's actually pretty shitty if you go very near to it. You know. Such an engineer, avoiding magnets like I thought I would have to use. Magnets for what? Sorry, I didn't get what you said. Magnets for the shop fronts? Well, I guess you could use some, but you could just jam them under. You know, that's what I chose. Okay. I'm a bit at a loss for space here. In English, please. Yeah, I know. I was just joking with the Spanish. Yeah. Yeah, you could use some magnets always. Also, magnets are useful. There are many ways to achieve the same kind of effects. Really depends on the thing you want to do. So I'm gonna use some very light color by now. I think am I gonna take this one? Yeah, I'm gonna try. Yeah, well, Mark, do as you want, huh? Do as you prefer. I did this because I had, I had done my walls, stacked up walls. So obviously, when I had this, I could just jam it underneath. But on the other hand, this is really good if you want very fast to build up some walls or a house and to put up just a roof and some shop fronts. But on the other hand, you can't really play inside, or you can actually remove the roof and play inside, but you won't have some different stages or different levels. So you've always got some advantages when you choose one option, but you'll always get some disadvantages in the other hand. So it's just a matter of choice. But yeah, the shop fronts are really good, and they don't really take a lot of space either. That's for me the most important. No, 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 no. So is that light enough or what? Let's see that. Nope. Nope. I need to take something a bit lighter. I'm gonna do a mix for the small highlights that are missing. So I'm probably gonna finish just the highlights and the shadows. I'm gonna try to end this live stream in about 40 minutes max, because I've got work to do. Maybe 30-40 minutes max. Depends. If you guys are going somewhere and no one's remaining, I'll probably end it up. Sorry. But in any case, it was nice having a little chat, live with some subscribers, because it's the first time I do it. I don't know if you guys would want to see it again. Tell me if it's the case, if you had fun, or if I'm not too annoying to hear, because I don't know. I'm not native speaking, so sometimes I'm at a loss for words. So if you don't find it too irritating. But if I continue doing some live stream, I'll probably do a better setup. Okay, Stefan. I'll try to do some live streams, because obviously if I do some miniature painting, as I said, I can't be doing some tutorials at the same time, so I gotta be careful, because I'm going very bold with the highlights here. Anyway, painting miniature is so goddamn relaxing. I love it. I mean, it's a time where you don't think about anything else, or you can, but mostly it's not bothersome stuff. Thanks, Juanma. Well, I'm fine. I'm great right now. Thanks. Glad you appreciate my tutorials. Yeah, I'm good. Take care, man. See you later. Happy you could pass by and say hello. See you later. Yep. Okay, well, then I'll maybe do some other live streams. Bye, Victoria. And yeah, I would also like maybe, but I thought about it, but I didn't do it. do some videos a bit like, I don't know, inspirational videos, I guess. A bit like shit like hankering from Runehammer. But I'm not sure I'm gonna do it. I try to refrain myself on doing it. Motivational videos, not really motivational, but to give ideas, to tell stories, how to create a campaign, or a story, good characters and stuff like that. But I'm not sure it would be really relevant. I love doing this, and I've started doing these kind of game and creating universes and stuff way long before I started really playing higher columns. Love those. Thanks. Yeah, they're still in the way because I'm really, I'm kind of I'm not really someone very tidy. And as I said, yeah, I could try to do those kind of videos, but it would seem pretty hypocrite because I'm not DM for a very long time either, so I don't want to be like giving advices to people that are probably a lot more experienced. It's just that I love sharing, ideas, and I can't really share them with my friends because they're basically playing the game. So I guess I could make vids or talking about stories I created, why I created them, based on what themes, because I'm a big history fan and I'm a big mythology fan. The last RPG we did was based on Scandinavian, Nordic mythology, for which I'm a huge fan, and I could have talked about these kind of stuff. Some mechanics I found out that were probably already invented by many people, but in any case, every video you make, every tutorial you make, the stuff has already been found by someone else long before. The only thing, it mustn't stop you to do the tutorial, because it will enable many people that are gonna see the video to get some idea that it wouldn't have gotten by themselves. So the fact that it's already been done is sometimes, you must accept that it's irrelevant. But of course, if you know where it comes from, well, you have to give credit. It seems logical, and it's the least you can do. But however, I'm not sure I'm gonna do these because I don't know. I'll see. Maybe it's an idea I have, but I'm not sure I'll do this, because this is obviously gonna be a lot faster than doing tutorials. Always tutorials for crafting. I'm definitely gonna continue to do these, but I can't. I don't have the space to store everything, so I'm always crafting small stuff, stuff that is modular, and I really don't have time to do one per week. I try to do it, but it's not. For me, it's not doable. Not one per week. I can't. I can't both craft, edit, and work at the same time. A full-time job. It's a bit, and I don't even have children. I don't know how you guys, some of you guys do with children. But hey, I'm invested in my job, so it takes a lot of my energy and time. Sebastian, you do what? You do have kids, you mean? Yeah, I guess these must be very time and energy consuming. I can only imagine. I don't have a kid, but I work with kids all the time because I'm an art teacher, so in middle school, so they're pretty young as well. They're ranging from 11 to 15. So I'm very used to working with kids. I work with kids all the time. I'm gonna take a sip of tea. It's amazing working with them. They're really a pain in the ass, but nice when they crush everything you make and they look at you. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, kids are pretty destructive. Sometimes they're not. Also, they're not very precise because they mostly want to go fast. They're even yeah. Most times when they're the small kids I have at school, they're 11. They're really they want to do things fast. They're motivated. They're not very precise, but some of them are also growing up. And when you're growing up, because I got teenagers also, you don't have the same kind of coordination you have when you're an adult. You don't have the same patience you have when you're an adult, and you don't have the same coordination because your body is growing from everywhere at the same time. So you trip when you walk on the stairs, and you're not as precise. So yeah, they can be quite destructive, but they're fun. They're really fun. Kids are I have in my art class are from 11 to 15 years of age, so I have a wide panel of different kind of students. The pause button, the crash building will get remark to ruins. I will make some. Yeah, I didn't follow the discussion right there, so I don't know what you guys are talking about. I didn't follow. Sorry. Oh yeah, well do it, man. I'm just rumbling. You won't be missing anything important. Do your stuff, man. Shit, I'm off camera. In any case, yeah. Kids are destructive, but they're fun. I mean, working in the classroom in doing art is actually the most fun part. Because all the rest, meetings and, getting together with all teachers and talking for shit. And, grading stuff. That's shit too. Pretty fucking annoying. Hey, no problem, Mark. It was a pleasure seeing you, Pleasure seeing you. See you later. And do end up these shop fronts. I definitely want to see them. Take care, man. No more, no less, unless you're rich. Yeah, I don't know. Unless you're rich, yeah. Also, an excuse to buy cool toys. Yeah, I don't need an excuse to buy cool toys. I think I always like good dumb stuff. Yeah, I always, comment est-ce qu'on dit, j'assume. It's okay. My girlfriend is also very, into Japanese stuff and high fantasy stuff. So we're definitely going for this. And I guess when we'll have kids, the kids are gonna be just as mad about it. At least I hope, because we're definitely nuts about these kind of universes. And yeah, toys. We don't have much of them because we don't have much space, but we definitely enjoy it. But yeah, kids are nice. Well, congratulations, Jimmy. Congrats. Well, I would like to have kids, but it might seem a little depressing. It's not really, but when you're working with kids all the time, even if you want to have kids, it's not your highest priority. For me, because we're both teachers, so we both work with kids all day long. Of course, it's not the kind of stuff that would prevent us from doing it, but most of the time we're just not thinking about it, and we really should be thinking about it a little more. But anyway, this is getting way too private. So There you go. Well, it's pretty good looking. It's alright, I mean. Definitely table ready. I mean the Gambizon part. I don't know if you guys know what the Gambizon is, but it's this padded stuff. It's called Gambizon. And usually it smells very bad. Yep. Yeah, the padded armor. It's called a Gambizon. And it stinks when you have one. I have one. And god damn it. The smell just never wears off. Of course it's worst when it's been worn and you know it's full of sweat. Even when it's dry it smells like, you know, something was dead inside. But, you know, you wanna have a good Gambizon. Man, 5 kids, you must become crazy. And that must definitely be an expense, but are they getting along good between them? It's the most important. Big family is really nice. On my girlfriend's side, there are 4. It's not as much as 5, but there are three brothers and 1 sister, and they get along really well. But you know, of course, growing up, they had some serious fighting going on, but the most important is that they go well. Yeah, Sebastian, I have one. Actually, I do medieval fighting, you know. So I have an armor, but currently my armor, the old armor, is in at my parents' place, and I'm on the point of buying another one, a new one. I'm gonna order it. So I'm actually doing combat in armor. 11, 7, 4, and 2 newborn. Yeah, these are pretty approached. That's good. They're definitely gonna. They must definitely be playing already with each other. Really cool. That's gonna be great. If they're having a good time together, it must be very tiring for you guys. but they must be having fun. I know the. I had one brother. I have one brother, so we had a lot of fun. We were very close. But on my girlfriend's side, there were 4, and they had so much fun. It's very important. It's very good to have many siblings. Growing up, it's a lot more fun. It's you get a lot more creative. You get also used. You can do. You have complex social interactions way sooner than others on a regular basis, because obviously all of them have their own personality. So I think it's really enriching to have many siblings, if you had the chance to growing up with many siblings. Of course, other problems can occur being numerous in a family, but you know there can be many advantages. That's nice having a large family. Oh yeah, man, armors are meant to be running. You can do mostly everything with an armor. I mean, plate armor is actually, you know, it's a technological enhancement from the chainmail. So it's actually very souple. How do you say that? Souple. Comment est-ce qu'on dit ça en anglais? Well, you can be you can move very easily. You can run, you can climb a ladder, you can do push-ups, you can dance. You can go pretty fast running with an armor. The only difference is that you're going to be exhausted way faster. But armor is very practical, very you know, you can bend your legs, you can do most things you can do without. Supple is also supple? Okay. But yeah, you can do most things in armor. My first armor, now I'm going to change because it was cheap. I won't say cheap because it's definitely a very expensive hobby. But I'm gonna stop with this miniature because I'm doing way too much highlights again. It's an expensive hobby, but the first one I bought wasn't too expensive because it was the first one, so I didn't know if I was going to continue for years doing it. So it was a bit too big, and it wasn't made from the best steel I could find because it wasn't. Some parts were tempered, some parts were mild steel. Of course, none of them were very like titanium or stuff like that. It was mostly mild steel, and some parts were tempered steel. But even the tempered steel parts, I took them too big because I was afraid it was going to have some breakage in the fight, because it's actually pretty physical and pretty hard hits we're taking. So I didn't want to take any risk, but it was a bad idea because actually it was too heavy. It was a little too big for me also, because I take the measures thinking that if it was too small I would be in serious shit. So I took it a little too large, just a little. And it was a bit too thick. Some pieces were too thick. So it was really heavy. So I'm going to change. I'm going to take mostly some parts are going to be titanium or very properly made steel. Not mild steel, but spring steel or yeah. So I'm gonna buy a new one. Mm. But I've gotta get in shape because these days I didn't really work out much. I didn't go nearly half much enough to the la salle d'armes. How do you call this? I've got a place where I train with friends, and I didn't go there for quite some time. And I used to be a way more regular, but work, tutorials also. I mean, if I went there more often, you wouldn't have that much tutorials. That's the problem with life. You're gonna make choices, and as I say, I don't even have a kid. But too many interests, too many things I want to do. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna make a very dark wash using the strong tones from Army Paints, I think, but it's probably a bad idea. No. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna mix it with some dark green because I want to emphasize a little bit the recesses. I don't know if the chat still works, because I don't have word from any of you from a little time, but guess it does. But I think sometimes it's bugging a little bit. Yeah, it does. Okay, just you guys weren't talking, because I think at one stage I didn't have the. It was bugging at one stage, I think, but I'm not sure. In any case, it's alright. I'm gonna take a little bit black as well. I'm gonna wrap this up. I've spent 2 hours doing just a one gambeson. It really wasn't the most effective paint I've done, but it's alright. I'm gonna wrap it up, do a little work, and then go paint afterwards, but without the display and the live stream. In any case, I'll make a better display. And you work in batch also. That means, do you advise for medieval villagers? I do work in batch. Depends what you call batch, but as you can see, I have many miniatures. It's not for display, show you I have many miniatures. I have a lot more everywhere, but it's mostly because I try to regroup them. As you can see here, I worked like all the blue colors at once, then some greens there, and I'm doing it by batch. Normally I'm a lot faster. I should have finished this one about half an hour to 45 minutes before, and it should have been a lot more better painted. But yeah, I do them by colors to obviously be faster. But that's mainly because I have many miniatures that are unpainted because I bought them pretty recently. So I want them to be painted because they've been partially painted for a few months now. When I say a few months, it's at least 6-7 months. So I was growing impatient of seeing them halfway done. So I thought I might as well finish them up. So I'm painting a batch to get faster. The most funny thing to do is more to do them separately, to end up in maybe 2 hours or something, a bit more, in a completed miniature. But doing it in batch is actually a lot faster, so that's why I do them in batches. But painting the first colors, the first midtones in batch is the most boring thing that there is. But doing the highlights and the shadow is actually a lot more rewarding and fun. And for the villagers, I bought from several places. These guys come from. These are really nice, very detailed, very realistically looking. Also, these come from Fenril. I think it's French stuff. I think it's either French or Swedish. I don't remember. They're very detailed, very nice, but they are very fragile, very brittle. The plastic is very, very hard and very brittle. So I've done many of them. All my farmers are actually from Fenril. You've got also some pilgrims from Fenril. They're very nice sculpts, and they're very realistic looking in their appearance and also in their posture. So it's pretty nice. The scale is 28 millimeters, I think. So most of my farmers and are from Fenril, but I don't say I would. Yeah, they're still in business. They're still they're very nice models, but they're very fragile. I broke many of them. The handles, the arms. So really be careful with them. You definitely want to coat them afterwards. You want to be careful with these miniatures because they're way too brittle for me. But all the rest of my villagers are they're Reaper, I think. It was the set of it's very famous. This set is very famous. You can find them. I think it's Reaper. You can find them in plastic. These are metal. And I've got many of them also like this. You've got all the set from the village. I just needed. I bought some from Fenril because I needed some farmers. So I bought them from Fenril. But all the villagers are coming from a set that is called. It's from Reaper. What is it called? Yeah, there's a villager set, and you've got the blacksmith. You got a guy asking for change for money. You got the barman. The l'aubergiste quoi, the guy from the tavern. You've got some bar wenches. This girl sweeping the floor. You got this woman with her child. You've got small children as well. Wow, you've got many of them, and these are called town folks, and I think it's Reaper, if I'm alright. They're pretty and they're nice. They're nice. There's one that I'm actually not using. It's the girl. There's a prostitute or something like that. I don't know how you call it. I'm not using because she really looks dressed as if it was the 16th or 17th century, and I'm doing a game that's more based on the 13th century. But my sexy girl is this one. It's one of the first miniatures I've painted, actually. I think it was supposed to be some kind of elf or something like that, but I painted it like a regular girl in a linen underwear. So for those of you guys who think she's like wearing a dress that is too transparent, it's actually linen underwear. So that's why. So that's like my one sexy miniature / love interest or anything else. Mostly I think mostly I'm gonna be using her for bath, a public bath houses in the medieval era. She could be working or tenants of medieval bathhouse. Mostly these were also some brothels as well during the Middle Ages. These public bathhouses. But yeah, aside from this, yeah, the townsfolk, I think that they're from Reaper and Fenrir. That's mainly my main sources for the villagers and the farmers. But I've bought from Reaper. I've bought from many other companies. Well, many, at least 2 or 3 others. I've bought some from Fireforge also, and I've bought some very cool miniatures. They were more expensive, but where did they come from? It was Scandinavian stuff. Wait a sec. I'm gonna try to find this. I managed to find it. Where is it coming from? Oh yeah, it's coming from VNV Miniatures. These were really good. Right, the box is a bit These were really good. These are Vikings, but I used the priest for my campaign, the monk. I used it for so these aren't Vikings, these are Anglo-Saxons, but I bought also some Vikings, and I used the priest for one of my players because in the game he's playing a monk. So I used it. I removed the looks nice, right? I used this and removed I kept it, the cross, but I removed on the character. I removed the cross and put a pilgrim staff instead, because he was definitely gonna be the one a traveling monk, and I didn't want him to go around all the time with a crucifix, with a cross, because it's not really realistic looking to have always a cross, but these are nice. So VNV Miniatures, they're really good. Bought many of them, but I think they're a little expensive. So you don't want to buy them if you want to constitute a whole army. But if you want some special characters like heroes, most of them are going to be in the... I've been on their site. They offer many different kind of miniatures from different different realms and origin. But mostly these are small... these miniatures are very detailed, but it's mostly early medieval period. So, Viking, Anglo-Saxons, stuff like that. It's not really my period right now because I'm more like 13th century. But even if most of these miniatures are in the style of later periods, most of the town folks from Reaper actually look like they're wearing stuff that would be wore during the 17th century, something like that. But who cares? It's alright. If the difference isn't too big, I don't give a shit. Even if I'm a history fan and I definitely see the difference, my player won't really be seeing the difference. So it doesn't matter. So guys, I think I'm gonna end it up there because I've got things to do. It was nice talking to you. In any case, trying the live stream, seeing how it works. I'll definitely consider doing other live streams, but I'm definitely gonna try to have a better display because I have the phone right in my face right now, so it's not really practical to paint some miniatures, and I don't see the chat very well because each time someone puts a message, it appears but then disappears. I don't really have a message board, a chat board that stays on. So I might put up a better display. But it was nice painting a little bit and talking to you guys. It's always better when you craft or you paint to be, speak with someone at the same time or hear someone, I guess. That's why I did always listening to live streams. So you're all welcome. I'll see you another time. You guys take care, continue crafting, and chat again next time. Yeah, definitely. I don't know when it will be. Maybe soon, maybe not. It's really not an organized thing yet. The streams or even the tutorials for say I'm not really regular. I just put them up when I can do it. So yeah, I'll see you guys another time. Thanks for coming by, stepping in, talking a little bit with me. It was fun, and I'll see you later for another tutorial or another live stream. See you guys. Bye.